and back again. Hey everybody. Hey Lou. Hey Letitia. Woo! All right. We are here today with an interesting question. But first, what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for today? Anybody have anything you're happy about? Anything great happened? Well, if you came on yesterday, you met Shauna, and so I'm grateful that we had a great family constellation session, and yeah, very interesting, and I think people got a lot out of it. So, like I said before, look those up. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for good friends and the ability to do that. Hey, Haunted Pizza. All right, so today we have a big question we're asking, and that is, when is it great to be wrong? Most of the time, we are always trying to not be wrong, right? We're trying to constantly protect ourselves. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want anybody to see us as wrong. And so the question is, when is it great to be wrong? And why do we have this concept that it's so bad to be wrong? That's another thing. Hey Mike. Hey Bella. So, the truth is, it's actually great to find out you were wrong all the time, anytime. It's way better to find out you were wrong and figure out what's the right thing than it is to stay wrong. So what happens? Why do we get trapped in this thing? Well, part of it is our educational system. Yes, when we are wrong, it's good to find out. So that's exactly right. The best time to find out, when it's great to find out we are wrong, is when we actually are wrong. Because otherwise we just keep on going, and oftentimes, doing things that harm ourselves or harm other people. Because we so firmly believe that what we're doing, thinking, saying is right. That's the really big danger. And why are we so afraid to find out we are wrong? I think a big part of this goes to our educational system and how we're brought up, right? Because how are we brought up? That we're just like, in the educational system, or in our religions, or whatever it is, they hand us a list of saying, this is what you're supposed to believe. This is what is right. This is what is accurate, right? We're supposed to memorize it and then regurgitate it on a test. And if we forgot something, we get a big red, X mark, right? So that keeps reinforcing the belief that if you make any mistake, it's going to jeopardize your future, right? You get enough of those big red X marks and you get an F, you fail a class, and then they insist that this is going to jeopardize your ability for future earnings because you didn't get that class right, or you didn't get good grades, or whatever that is, right? So that training starts really, really young. It's in fact the opposite of what we need to actually be successful in life, and especially to be successful as an entrepreneur, where you're gonna be wrong all the time, frankly, and you just keep trying new things until you get it right. Imagine if Thomas Edison was afraid to be wrong. He had to try like 1,000 different things before he finally found the one thing that actually worked as the filament inside of a light bulb. So if he had thought, well, no, my God, I can't be wrong, Thank God he actually did not go through our educational system. I think he failed out. So that's probably why he had the ability to keep trying and trying all those times. And was willing to be wrong all of those times until he finally figured out what was right and what actually would make the light bulb work. So if any of you are interested, hey Leela, hi Mia, James, Sarah, if any of you are interested in actually really doing something powerful or being an entrepreneur or even just really advancing in your life, that's the beauty of being open to being wrong, right? When I find out I was wrong about something, I'm like, oh, cool, because now I know what's right, hopefully, right? Even just being open to the possibility that I could be wrong allows me to seek for what is right. And that's the real challenge we have in our system when we have a belief that is so dogmatic, where we're like, no, this is 100% right. Hey, Andrea. We can't actually discover if it is right. We have to be always open to the possibility that it might be wrong in order to actually understand for sure whether or not it is right or wrong. And when I say right or wrong, I'm trying to say accurate. Okay, I'm not saying It's not like a connotation of good or bad or holy or unholy, right? When I'm saying right or wrong, I mean accurate or true. So, hey, Maya. Yeah, so just, it is good to be wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. It's good to find out you were wrong. It's not good to be wrong and never know. It's good to find out you were wrong so that you can figure out what's right, especially if it's an important area of your life. So let's look for the areas where we might be wrong. Let's stay open to that and be excited when we discover something that we were wrong about, and that now we figured out what's a more accurate aspect or way of looking at it. For me, I had to go really deeply into this in all kinds of areas of my life. And it was a very unsteady period for me for a long time, because I had to question every belief I was ever taught, my entire religious basis, my whole thing of what's good and bad, and how we live and operate in the world, all of that. Because I grew up in a cult, and when I left, it took me years to try to unwind some of that stuff. And, because those beliefs were just so like rigid. You have to believe this. If you don't believe this, you're wrong, right? Or you're a bad person. And there was no openness to questioning any of that. And so it took me a long time to get to the point where I was even able to go back and question all of that stuff and figure out, for myself, what was logical and what was illogical, right? What made sense and what just was totally out there, right? So, but doing that process gave me a much stronger foundation, and allowed me to figure out that there's so many things that we just assume because somebody taught us that, or someone in authority told us that, right? Hi, Keo. Hi, Eduardo. So let's not just accept people when they tell us, this is right or this is true. Find out for ourselves, especially if it's something important. Be willing to go figure it out for ourselves, because I think we all know now that so much of the news media and what we watch on TV and all of this is just so much propaganda, really, right? So how can we figure out these things for ourselves? How can we figure out what is true? How do we have a process, a way to actually go and talk to people, ask people what really happened, not just what do you think about what happened, right? So yeah, let's investigate. But first of all, let's remember that it's great to be wrong whenever we are wrong, right? This actually holds up so many experts. It's a huge, huge issue for people who are experts. Even some of the greatest scientists of our day, the greatest doctors and discoverers of our day, they would discover something and it made a huge advancement, right? And then they would stop. They weren't willing to look at the next thing, which, might make what they had discovered a little bit wrong, right? And so because of that, they stopped and they were rigid, and then it took the next generation of physicists or scientists to take it to the next level. See? So, but if they had never stopped, if they had stayed open, they could have kept moving forward with all of those people and kept discovering new things. So let's remember, always stay open to the possibility of being wrong. And if we find out we are wrong, that's a great thing, because then we are open to finding out what might be right, right? And hopefully we never stop growing and learning. And that's the whole process of learning. So I hope that you have a beautiful day. Hi, Jaden. And that you guys are able to discover a few things about which you have been wrong. And that you can rejoice in that and say, thank God, now I know I was wrong about this. So what's the accurate thing? What's going to really help me move forward in my life? All right. So have a beautiful day. Hey, Crystal. Hey, everybody. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.